Hey guys, welcome into Rage Bait. It is the bye week, and we are on our final episode of the week. And yes, I've got a team issued Tulsa Shock jerseys from 2010 when they moved from Detroit, where they won not one, not two, but I believe 3 championships during their time in Detroit. They moved to Tulsa, and Schrep and I were talking about before the show. They went a whopping 9-59 in their first 2 years in Tulsa, only made the playoffs once, and then left T-Town for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro. And we'll open up a remodeled arena next year in 2027 in downtown Dallas. So I'm still looking. If you go to tulsashock.com, not only did I buy all this sweet gear from I used to work for the franchise, but if you go to tulsashock.com, I got a project now where I'm trying to connect with ladies who played for the Shock and coaching staff to kind of hear about their time in Tulsa and what the WNBA was like. Because the league minimum back then was $31,000 in 2010. And if you saw the recent CBA, they got signed between the WNBA and the WNBA Players Association. The league minimum is up there in a couple 100,000. And the max now is like 1.5, 1.4 million. So it's a huge upgrade. $31,000. That's not a lot of money to be a professional athlete by any means. So that's where I got the jersey. We don't have a game this week, so we're just shooting from the hip. We're not shooting ourselves. That's Plaxico Burst. We don't want to do that and throw our gun in the Hudson Bay. He was a proud New York Jet. We just can't get away from Plaxico bursting ourselves for the Jets. So Schrep and Webb are with me. Webb's internet connection seems to be doing strong. I don't know if our friend Lacey Womer helped him with some Starlink from the mothership there down in Austin, Texas. Boys, how are we doing?
Good. Doing great. Settling in.
I see that your background picture has changed, Schrep. We went from American flag to a custom album art.
Yeah, this is the favorite thing right here to my Christmas present to myself, Webb, and his brother. It's a little edit I made. And it stems from an old teen camp joke from a couple years ago, but just make a little album cover, make it look good.
It does look sweet. Webb, why don't you have that behind you?
Well, I got blinds behind me, and I'm in my living room, and I don't think I would ever get authorization to hang that in my living room.
I just heard 3 excuses.
Yeah.
2, 3. Speaking of excuses, what are some things that you shouldn't say to your spouse when you're moving? We'll start with Schrep.
It made it. It made it. Let's just say about the 100th time trip up the apartment stairs, loading the U-Haul, when you end up just saying generally like, wow, that's a lot. And it refers to not your stuff. It does not go over well for you. So if you're listening out there today, just know when you're making that move, never say, wow, that's a lot of stuff to your spouse.
Yeah, I understand that pain. Webb, what about you?
I just don't want to move in general. I wish there was something I could do to just take like a percentage of what the stuff is worth and just use that money to buy new stuff.
Feel
Like,
that.
like an estate sale, but for like one lump sum. Someone come in, give me like a little appraisal, and we'll see if we can work something out.
We can work something out.
Yeah.
Talk about the OGs that go to estate sales. I mean, that's a culture in itself.
It's some good stuff there. Unfortunately, it's all, deceased old people.
Yeah. And it's always other old people who know, like, oh yeah, like they went to high school with them or they were friends with them, went to church with them, and they're waiting outside before 8:00 or 9:00 whenever it opens. And they're like, I can't wait to get in there. They've got that dinette set. Yeah.
It reminds me of like when you get to Wellston or wherever it is, you're going in Oklahoma City, there's a sign advertised for a store in Oklahoma City called Dead People Stuff. And so like I've seen that probably like 100 times driving back and forth in the last week. And Hannah's like, Dead People Stuff, we need to go visit it. I'm like, that's how The Conjuring starts. Like you're going to bring something into this house that is just going to wake us up at night and unravel the toilet paper. Like, I don't know. I don't want it.
Yeah. I'm already, the studio at my house is built out in my basement. So I'm already on borrowed time. So let's not mention The Conjuring. There's a lot of things that happen in my house. It's 84 years old this year. Yeah. Weird stuff. Like when we first moved in, this place was vacant because the person had died. Shout out the old man who lived here. And it went into a trust to his kids who didn't live. They lived in like, I don't know, Wyoming, I believe, when I looked at the paperwork on the purchase agreement with the realtor. But like the lights on the first floor, like we first moved in, like second night, we only have one kid at that time. She's super young. She's just a year old. And all of a sudden I go downstairs because I hear something fall. And I was like, oh, what's that? And then the light in the room just starts blinking super, super fast. And I was yelling at Megan. I woke up my oldest daughter, Wilma, because I was just like, you got to get down here and see this right now. It's not me just being super freaked out. Like, this stuff is happening. So I don't know what that was. I hear sounds sometimes, but at this point, I'm too poor to leave. So, we just got to exist together, whatever it is.
We can work it out.
Stay down there. Let us live up here. There'd be no problems.
Yeah. And just when I have remote shows, like how we do our show now, like, just let me be, and don't knock over my camera stuff. I can't afford to replace that. So yeah, I figured that out when I was doing a shoot yesterday, and I was looking in the van, and I was like, this van's probably worth 8,000 tops, and everything in the back of the van's worth like 20K. I was like, if I get in a wreck, like, it's just over for me. I don't know. If you don't hear from me, I've just descended upon some small island, unclaimed island in the Caribbean, and I've just set up camp. And I'm going to ask to be a part of the United Kingdom, kind of like our friends in Australia, which I still don't understand their governance, but I'm going to have to figure that out. So, I get a lot of laughs about driving the minivan to projects, but, it fits all my stuff, and I can still keep the kid seats in, because Webb could probably tell you as well. There's nothing worse than trying to put a kid's car seat in a car. It doesn't make any sense. And my kids that got those big ones that do 360 swivel, both of them do.
Fancy.
Yeah, but fancy. And then my legs, that's what I'm saying when we were talking about like amputees, like no arms, no legs, do you resuscitate me? That's because I'm driving. When we went to Tulsa the other day or Jinx to the outlet, my legs are right up against the dash. And I'm like, I have no room. And I'm only 6 foot. But still, like when I got out, I thought I just got to heaven. I was like, man, this feels so great. I can feel my legs again. And mind you, I'm driving down there 80 miles an hour trying to get down there. So as they're screaming at me, shout out minivans, Honda Odyssey. If you see me, that's me, and just a basic white Honda Odyssey. Don't be creeped out. Okay, it's just me going to a project.
We took a bougie one to Mississippi. What was it? A Chrysler Pacifica. Yeah, it was like a 2025.
Those are nice.
We pulled up, like we expect like the Wagoneer or the Tahoe. We pulled up to the Enterprise in Bardesville, and we're looking like, man, there's a lot of vans in this lot. Where's our Tahoe at? And then the guy comes out and he's like, oh, it's this van right here. I'm like, man. Yeah. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad experience. Good gas mileage.
Yeah, there was a Wagoneer over there too. We were like, oh, we can get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can you imagine the payments on the Wagoneer? I see a lot of folks that all three of us know from football. And I see them pull up in a Wagoneer, and then I'm just like, yeah, I don't want that payment. Like, I just don't want it. I mean,
yeah, that's why we just rent it. In our last 3 raid trips, we had a Wagoneer, or last 2. But we just live vicariously through the renting experience without the payment.
Yeah. Enjoy it that way, because I couldn't imagine my kids throwing all their Happy Meals on a Wagoneer that I'm paying $1,200 a month on and still owe $75,000.
Pick it up. Get down there right now.
Hey, I'm pulling over right now, and we're going to get the carpet cleaner out the back. We're going to plug it into the outlet here, and you're all going to do it yourself. Because listen, I love y'all too.
Get your little mini hands, get in between the seat, pick those fries out.
They're like reaching, like,
tired of this, Grandpa.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
My fingers hurt. Well, now your back's going to hurt. You just pulled left.
Hey, they got straightened out. They found Jesus and they found their manners by the end of that movie, though. That was pretty funny. They didn't show no respect to Ricky Bobby when he fell off and thought he was on fire running in his underpants. That's a classic movie. All right, so give me 3 signs that you are getting old. Speaking of getting old.
Well,
one right now. Just making noises when you get up.
Yeah.
When you stand up, or like, it's not necessary. It's not like you're straining, but you're just like, all right. That's one. Probably just the general irritation of people who can't drive.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Come back to me for a third.
Schrep.
Let's see. Standing up from the couch, and it sounds like the 4th of July just went off with every joint in my body cracking and popping, even waking up. And it feels good, but like it hurts for a little bit. I mean, I'm not really that old.
I feel pretty decent on the whole. Like, I feel like I'm up to date on pop culture things. So it's not really like I don't feel like I'm out of date. I don't like it, but I feel like I'm out of date. Like, I don't feel like I'm out of date on it. But maybe that's it. Like, I don't like it, but it's a popular thing.
I don't understand social media. Like, people just get famous, like we were talking about, that literally just share a clip that somebody else did all the work, and then they're in the last 5 seconds being like,
yeah.
And I'm just like, How did you build a following? Like, I'm out here trying to tell authentic stories and like grinding it out for 50 likes. And you're out here getting 500K just off a 5-second clip of you hating on somebody else. So I don't know. You question a lot of life choices.
One, I was actually just telling Webb this morning of waking up early, making some breakfast, and turning on the news. I've been enjoying that since we got to the house, been settled. I've just been waking up, enjoying the morning before I go to work, and watching me some news.
Some traffic alerts for the OKC Metro.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than the morning weather person who's trying to work their way up out of that shift.
That was one of the questions when I got here. Me and Webb were asking our athletic trainer, was like, all right, who should we be worried about when they get worried down here? Because, like, who's the equivalent to Travis Meyer? And they were just going off and telling us different ones. Like, if this one takes his coat off, then you better be worried for it. I'm like, okay, I'll watch him.
Shout out Travis Meyer. Some call him the weather god. Others call him Mustache Daddy. I refuse to call him that. It seems awkward to call him that, but some do. Talk about a following on social. That dude's reinvented himself. He's kind of given some behind the scenes lately, but Mustache Daddy. For me, I would have to say one, I make a lot of cigarette references, but I did my show last night in a dive bar, my show American Tales. And guys, I can't handle the smoke anymore. It's been a long time since I've been to the casino. I came home, I felt like I was hungover, didn't have one drink, didn't have one cigarette. I woke up, my eyes were bloodshot. I have asthma. I also made the faux pas of not ordering a drink when they offered me one for free for doing the show there. I asked for water, and I didn't know if that was going to come with some hate from this bar at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I survived. So yeah, that's definitely a sign I'm getting old. I just can't handle it. But I still have all intention of pulling off a special halftime speech when needed for the Rage, which will probably involve me coughing on a misty long cigarette and then ashing it out real quick because I just don't got it anymore. I don't got that smoke to handle the smoke. So Webb, you got another one?
Maybe it's all these like random celebrations and stuff that they do.
Yeah, what is that? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
Like, I'm like, why is that disrespectful? It's not, but it pisses me off. So I don't know.
Can you imagine doing that back in the day? Like somebody would pull you aside and be like, hey, Webb, are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody? We'd be happy to talk to you, kid.
Sit over there. Sit on the side.
Yeah, that's enough. You can sit down. Well, it's just like that kid. If you watch that documentary, what is it, Bixby America, about following them last season, and that kid in like a scrimmage, he cussed. I think they were playing Muskogee there, Lee Snyder Stadium, and he cussed, and then he just ripped him a new one. And I was like, can you imagine all these kids at non-Bixby programs doing that? Like you said, they ain't making it. They ain't winning a gold ball at Bixby. They're getting transferred out.
Yeah. So we already did the paperwork for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've already got you a spot. So I won't name a program to make them feel bad. So I've got one on the tip of my tongue that, yeah, I won't say it. I'm moving on. Mom, I'm doing my best right now, Mom. I'm doing my best. I will say another sign you're getting old is when you buy a set of tires and you get excited. I recently bought a set of tires for the minivan for the Honda Odyssey. I got buy 3, get 1 free. And I was super excited about it. We pulled in, dropped it off, went to lunch. Obviously saw some people that used to be in the football program we were associated with before. So they gave us a shout out to all of us about the pod with the Rage and what's going on. And I went back, got it, and I thought it drove like a brand new car. So Mama got some new shoes on the Honda Odyssey. I'm getting old. Also, my jokes don't always hit during my show American Tales with rising musician Emily Hollingshed, which comes out next week. Yeah, there's plenty of times I reference Avril Lavigne. Did she die and get replaced, kind of like Paul McCartney? She didn't get that joke. She also didn't get my joke about Sears being dead, the hardware store. And I was like, oh yeah, R.I.P. Sears. And she was like, kind of looked at me and I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I think I remember there was a Sears hardware store in Coweta. And I was like, maybe. I was like, man, I'm getting old. There was like a 13-year difference between us. So yeah, she was.
Yeah, Sears was kind of it was a move. I remember the one in Bargesville.
Yeah.
At the mall.
Yeah. Did your dad go to Sears? Was that like a...
Oh, yeah. Craftsman, everything, like to get parts to fix the washer and dryer, just a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah. I mean, and I was reading a social media post, but it was like people in the 90s who worked there could have mortgages and like the cost of living was a lot less in the 1990s, obviously. But it's just like people had careers and were there for like 40 years and had stock. It's just crazy. Rest in peace. I will never forget when Kmart bought Sears. That was so weird. And then they would have stuff like, and then they both crashed.
Then the same thing happened to Kmart.
They said, we got you. And then like 12 to 18 months later, they're like, and today at the stock market news, Kmart Sears joined operations, failed. They're going bankrupt, slashing prices across America and closing stores. I can never do like that voice, the news voice. Like, tonight, a family is dead. And I'm like, whoa, God, we're starting with, and I'm like,
that's exactly what you'd be like. Tonight, the family is dead. Whoa. All right. Whoa.
a dog on the south side of Oklahoma City went on a rampage.
I should have probably pre-read this script.
He'll read anything on the teleprompter.
It's in the script. Change tone now. Oh, I missed that.
No, I was saying like a thunder update. Like thunder show up big against the alien Wimbanyana and a family's dead. Blah, blah, blah. So I could never do it. So yeah, shout out. You know, those people don't get paid very much unless you're Mustache Daddy, Travis Meyer. You talk about doing numbers. Severe weather does numbers in Oklahoma. Can you imagine the live stream numbers? Like, man, millions. Even that guy, Mike Collier, who played soccer for the same soccer club with me in Tulsa. That dude, he's off on his own now. He's doing like 2 million engagements just off like a severe weather event on his own. Shout out for him for being an entrepreneur. Now he's got like,
yeah, his app was, I just started going to that one because like he's got the live cameras in town now and he's doing it all.
Yeah. And shout out, that all really started like last year, maybe last January.
Yeah.
I mean, he's blown up. I'm trying not to think of any blown up jokes. But I'm moving on from that, just like the reference to a specific football program. Let's talk about some other sports before we look forward past the bye week and talk some AWFL, which I think I'm going to get one of those new AWFL footballs because I want to put it behind.
Yeah, we're supposed to have like 6 of them come in for the season.
Yeah, something like that.
Just minus one because obviously
they're probably giving away.
They just took it from our allotment and gave it to you.
They said, okay, that's going to Tuck, -1 from the raid. Man, it looked real cool too. It was all stitched on, like the logo and everything. And I was like, man, that looks tight. So talk about an old person. I also referenced LimeWire yesterday.
Yeah, I'd have been way out of her depth.
Schrep has no idea about the fun of LimeWire and ending up with,
I don't.
You thought you were getting a Ray J song. It wasn't Ray J's song.
R.I.P. Ray J.
R.I.P. Ray J. He thought the fix was in on that fake UFC fight they did. That boy got a knot on his head. That's like my grandpa said, I'm about to put a knot on your head. Well, what was that? That was KMOD. They used to have Phil and Brent was like their primetime host for KMOD. And they used to do a voice called Roy D. Mercer. And they would just punk people and call him. And he'd be like, I put a pop knot on your head. Like they used to prank call everybody, like Goldberg from the WCW. It was fun. I used to own those CDs too. My dad would take them and listen to them when he would drive truck. Good times, simpler times. You can pull that off now. There's no way you could pull off prank calls like that.
No, most people just aren't going to answer. How many would you have to? How many times would you have to call people, like different people, before someone answers?
Well, yeah, and then you're going to get AI spammed out.
Well, yeah, there's the iPhone screening now that you got to state your reason for calling. Like, I'm calling to prank call you. Nope, I ain't answering you.
I ain't answering.
No.
Really, if we're going to go full conspiracy, let's think the only reason we all have devices is so we could be monitored. Go put that out there.
It's a trade of access.
Yeah. Definitely think that the Patriot Act after 9/11 just gives free reign to listen in. I'm sure the NSA is listening to us now. Hello. I hope you're getting paid well. Take a few.
Tell us the truth about these alien files.
Tell us the truth in the document.
Stop our recording here in a second.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
all they do is just mess with my internet. And
like, you know, they're going around they're going to the fridge to get their snacks, right? To get their dinner. And they're like, hey man, I've been messing with this guy out in Oklahoma. he thought it was the internet. Nah, dog, it's just me. I'm closing that. I'm creating that.
Dead serious. That's been a theory for a while because we play NCAA and we swear someone be messing with us half the time. Like there's someone sitting in an office somewhere, like trying to make our lives just miserable for our escape for like 2 hours a day.
So I used to have a fiber, one of the first fiber internet providers for rural America here in Oklahoma was a client of mine. And I got to go to their bunker, which is F5 tornado rated, where they store all of the servers and how they power the internet in Northeast Oklahoma. And like, it was insane going down there. There were some dudes that hadn't seen light in a while. I was like, whoa, you need to get some vitamin D. But yeah, you could plug in there and get like 100 gigabytes per second like internet. So that would solve our problem instantly if Webb could just somehow not make the NSA mad and then just get the hookup for the best internet at his house there.
Might blow
So
up a computer.
I know that fast. So they were all bragging about it. And this was like 2015 when they started there outside of Bonita. And yeah, they got that government money, which allowed them to make the investments out there. So shout out. It's been a while, but the bunker's real. I've been there. So speaking of real,
Of course.
what
I said, of course you have.
I've been there, yes. I've traveled many places there, Whip. I've survived deliverance in Mississippi. So shout out Cleveland, Mississippi. I probably have like a real hate following going on in Mississippi. I think we all do by now. Some of that is not our fault, though. It's not our fault. We've got to put some of that blame on our recently minted all-pro quarterback, who we have much love for, Courtney Eldridge. She just let the mystery go. And she swore to us in her special edition episode that the Hattiesburg Lady Bison were not going to be the same people as a Gulf Coast mystery. That I've just been this living rent free in my head ever since she popped that off in her episode. I was like, how do you know?
I was told. This is what I was told. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I just was like, huh? And then I just laughed even harder over the next couple of days, thinking like, dang, she is committed on that. So we love the commitment.
It's got to be some of the same people, but I don't.
Hattiesburg isn't that big.
But I think obviously different ownership group and some different people, because I don't think Gulf Coast is not going to be a team. I think that it's going to move places.
I've got a place for them 75 miles to the south. They can move to Biloxi.
And get some gelato after the games.
Get some gelato. Look, they'll be a lot happier after the game in the locker room if they're getting gelato served from those wonderful 5-star casinos there on the Gulf of America. Now, I would propose that they switch their name to the Gulf Coast Light Towers, since there is a real light tower there, unlike the New England Patriots and Robert Kraft in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, which is all fake. So enjoy your 6 championships. The New York Jets, all we have is great jerseys now. Just going to put that out there. Great uniform. I even like the rivalries uniform, but that's all we got. And we're tanking for Arch. We need Arch. So speaking of making predictions, who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals? I will say that my Knicks, the last time we were in the NBA Finals was 1999, the end of the Ewing era. He was coming off the bench. His knees were terrible by this time. Allen Houston, man, that dude could shoot. Latrell Sprewell choked his coach. PJ Carlisle.
They usually have some of those shoes, though.
But they were sweet. And then he had the spinners. Remember the spinners on his car?
Yeah, cribs. There's on them.
Yeah. He's like, I got these spinners. Just don't remember I choked PJ Carlisle at practice, who coached the Thunder for a little bit, speaking of connection to OKC. So the last time they were in the finals, they played the Spurs. And we lost to David Robinson and a young Tim Duncan, and like Tim Duncan's second year. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to see Wemby as a Knicks fan, but then like Thunder-wise, SGA is just going to get buckets. So, but I don't think they can win in New York. I just don't. New York is going to be popping off, sending you guys in the group chat.
Thunder can win in New York?
I don't think the Thunder can win in New York. New York is going to be just exploding.
Hey, San Antonio been popping off. Like
they have too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been putting select fans in select seats. I'll just put it that way. You can go to x.com, the everything app, and figure out what I'm referencing. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, San Antonio's got it. Their arena is kind of different. And what's funny is like the Spurs, kind of like the Bulls, when the circus comes to town in Chicago and they have to leave for like a month and a half. They're at the United Center, but at Frostbank Arena in San Antonio, it's the rodeo. It's the largest rodeo in the United States, I'm pretty sure. That when they come to town, the Spurs have to leave for like a month as well. So it's kind of different. So that would suck having to be gone. I know the Jags are going to be away from Jacksonville this NFL season for almost 2 months. They'll be in London for 2 weeks consecutively, but they won't be allowed once their remodeled stadium opens up, which will have a glass roof, kind of like the Las Vegas Raiders. They won't be allowed to play 2 games in London anymore with their new contract with the city to get that public funds for that remodel. So we'll see.
Allowed?
What?
You said they won't be allowed?
They won't be allowed. They can play 1 game because every team now with the new agreement can play 1 game abroad, and they can't choose which home game to protect anymore. That was one thing, like, the Green Bay Packers could say like, hey, we've got to have all of our home games at historic Lambeau. We've got to protect this game versus the Bears or the Lions or the Vikings, NFC North rivalry game. Now they can't protect it, because look at, like we talked about before, and they're in Melbourne, Australia. We're kicking off the year with a very important matchup between the 49ers and the Rams. It's going to start down under. I don't think we should play division games outside the country. I think we should leave those for regular weeks. That's asking a lot. And that's a lot of playoff and Super Bowl implications that game could decide who wins the division and who gets home field advantage when they catch themselves for maybe a potential third matchup in the playoffs.
Yeah,
So,
that seems really pointless.
well, yeah, it just, I'll tell you this, in the soccer world, La Liga is the top soccer league in Spain, right? That's what Real Madrid and Athletic Madrid, Atletico, as well as Barcelona play in. And they were going to play some regular season games in Miami. And they backed out. Like they had it all scheduled, sold the tickets. They were going to, and they just backed out. The teams would not go and play that game. So they refused to play it. So the league had to say, hey, we're potentially going to come back to Miami at a different time, but we're not going to do it. They've threatened to play Premier League games, so English soccer games here in America. Never happened, right? The clubs have thrown a huge fit. So, I mean, I don't know. I think one thing, speaking of players associations, we talked about the WNBA PA, but the NFL PA needs to get grass in these stadiums, like what they're putting down for the World Cup, because it's possible. Look what, Jerry Jones in Arlington is doing there at AT&T Stadium. I mean, they're hanging the grow lights from the top of the roof there, and they're growing grass. And same thing at NRG Stadium for the Houston Texans. Philadelphia did it, which is a little bit easier because it's outdoors, so it's going to get natural light and rain there.
Put curtains up in AT&T Stadium.
What?
I saw they're putting curtains up in AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, talk about a conspiracy. You can't put those up. I mean, yeah, it's not just a home field advantage, because then Dak and the boys are driving into the light of God himself, just blinded by the light. Cue the music. We don't have the copyright for it. But yeah, that just seems so dumb. But then put the grass in. That grass is so perfect, that FIFA grass. Now, there was terrible grass down in, where were they? It wasn't Rio de Janeiro. That's this year. But the Eagles, and I'm pretty sure, was it Eagles Packers that played in Brazil last year? They played and that grass could not hold up. It was awful down there for Jalen Hurts. Shout out former Sooner. Alabama Crimson Tide, who's going through a little bit of A.J. Brown dilemma. He had to make some comments on him because they had some mini camps going on there in Philly, and A.J. Brown no-showed. So don't know how that's going to end up. But they drafted the guy from USC, signed a bunch of free agents, including Hollywood Brown, who used to be at OU. So we will see. Let's make some predictions. We'll turn this into a reel and put it out so we can all be held accountable by our fans. So if the Thunder make the NBA Finals and win in Game 7 at home in OKC over the Spurs, what is your prediction? Thunder versus Knicks?
5.
So Schrep goes Thunder in 5.
Thunder.
What about Webb? What you got?
When does it start? Next
June 3rd.
Wednesday?
Yeah, June 3rd.
Yeah, I'll go Thunder in 6.
Okay, I'm biased, but I'll say Knicks in 6. I haven't seen a team like this in the playoffs. Of course I love the Knicks, and I do love the Thunder being an Oklahoma guy. It's just the Knicks were my childhood. And so I haven't seen New York this lit in a long time. And they have won, what we were saying in the group chat, like 11 in a row. And they're not just winning games barely. I mean, they're dropping 130, 140 points regularly, and they're moving the ball. It wasn't the Jalen Brunson ISO ball that I was complaining about at the beginning of the playoffs when they struggled against CJ McCollum and the Atlanta Hawks. So I think it's their year. It's been since 1973 when Phil Jackson was a player. So shout out Phil. He kind of looked the same age when he played. People who were in their 30s looked 70 back then.
They just don't struggle as much. I mean, obviously people beat them, but the Spurs are the struggle because they have a specimen on the other team.
There's not much you can do against Wemby, man. It's once again, like I mentioned, like it changes the way I watch the game, because sometimes I'm just tripping out. Just his length and rebounding and up around the rim, that's hard to defend. Like we can't put it all on Chet. Like that's just tough. That's tough in general. Like two threes in a row. Okay, have it. I don't care at this point.
Yeah. But I think Chet versus Cat, like Cat's going to dominate that matchup. He's just a bigger frame dude, better shooter from outside, and he's been playing more low post. He's really kind of, to me, has re-energized himself in this playoffs. What about Spurs? If it's Spurs versus Knicks, Schrep, you start. We've got the NSA on Webb, unfortunately.
I just depends on how the series goes. I'd have to say Spurs, and once again 5-6. I think either whether it's the Thunder or whether it's the Spurs. I mean, even the Knicks, the way they're playing, it's going to be 5-6 game series. I mean, who's technically starting off? So if the Spurs win here, who starts off with the first two?
The Spurs. Both the Spurs and the Thunder will have the home. Yeah, they have the better records.
those are 2 tough home games for the Knicks, I believe. And I think like it's going to be a 2-0, and then back to the Garden will be tough. So I say 5-6 for either or all.
Webb?
And we lost him.
Well, as much as I love my Knicks, I think the Spurs probably win in 6. I just don't think we've got a solution. I think Cat's been balling out in the post, but I think we get the games at the Garden, and that's it. I don't think we can win in San Antonio. That arena has just been going crazy, especially when they do the 90s logo night, where they do the orange and teal and pink, and they're all striped out. I know there's been a lot of national sports show hosts that have given them a hard time. Like, they're the Spurs, just wear your black and silver. I'm like, no, that looks sweet.
Yeah, the retro ain't bad. And I've seen a lot of hate on like the playoff shirts that they, of course, what every arena is doing now. And I'm like, no, let's bring it to life. That's like having fun with it. You're not just this regular black and silver. You get the fans involved with it. Pretty young crowd. And it surprised me because, like, here's the deal. I don't follow NBA basketball throughout the year. I'll follow the Thunder. But like when I turned on the series and was watching the series before with the Timberwolves, I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was super cool. Like,
Duncan in the building? Like, I don't know.
yeah, like, shout out Duncan. Who knew that Duncan could grow hair like that? Like, most of the time, like, he
Right?
didn't have hair. It's kind of like Brian
Yeah, he
Urlacher,
was
right?
just like this, shorter.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher, same thing. Like, that dude was, shaved head most of his career as a linebacker there for the Bears, and then he has hair now. And I was like, that's strange. And then Tim Duncan's got some braids going on. So, what about World Cup coming up? Speaking of soccer, who do you have winning the? Who do you got?
This world. I'm always, of course, biased USA, but it's fun to watch it. Like, I'm not into soccer, but when it comes World Cup time or Olympics time, I'm always on the USA side, especially like women's soccer. That's one of my favorites to watch because like they get after it. And historically, from like what I know, they win what 3 now women's
The
soccer.
women, I
Yeah.
believe. So they won the first one ever, which is crazy because like FIFA didn't even want to give it the name the FIFA Women's World Cup. They call it the M&M's Cup. They didn't want to give the women the right to have the name. So they retroactively went back in history and allowed them to call it the FIFA World Cup. So shout out FIFA. If you want to talk about corruption, just do a Google search about that. So shout out America. We got the FIFA Peace Prize, but we're at war with Iran. So Iran's team, who's going to be in the World Cup amidst the war, they requested to move their training and their host where they stay from, I think it was in Kansas City, maybe. They asked to be moved to Mexico, and FIFA approved that. So yeah, so much for that Peace Prize we got.
Right.
But can you imagine if we had to play Iran? We played in the 1998 World Cup and they smoked us in France. Like, they came out, they smashed us. And then we played, I believe, last World Cup in Qatar, and we beat them. But when we had to beat them to get out of the group, there's nothing better than World Cup because this World Cup's going to have 48 teams, the most ever. And our group looks pretty easy, but we could still fumble the bag because our head coach, which they call a manager, is already negotiating with club teams for a job after his contract's over after this World Cup with the United States. So like, he's already fumbling the bag. Like, you shouldn't do it behind the scenes, right? If you want to go to a big club in Europe where he has been and been very successful, wait till we're done because you have a shot in America coaching the Americans, which we could go all the way. I mean, a home crowd does a lot in a World Cup. Usually, at worst, the host, like even in Russia, I think it was 2018, they advanced super far and they're not a soccer country. I think to the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. South Africa, sir. South Africa. Don't look up all of the injustice that happened to the folks that were building those stadiums. It was awful. There's documentaries out there to watch about that, boys and girls. But I mean, that was the furthest that an African country had gone in a World Cup, right? And then Korea went super far. Almost, pretty sure they went to the semifinals in 2002 when they co-hosted with Japan. So it does a lot for you. Mm-hmm. And then Brazil. So we've got Paraguay. Okay, decent. Australia. Yeah, we got to play the boys down under. I can't wait for that, for the content. And then we get Turkey. So and Turkey
run Australia or whatever it is.
League. Yeah, we should just say, hey, we're not going to play 90 minutes of soccer or football. We're going to do the Run Nation League, and then we would definitely lose that matchup. So, but the beauty of the 48 team tournament for this World Cup is you get Curacao, which is a tiny little island in the Caribbean, who qualified because Mexico, Canada, and the US all got automatic bids into the World Cup. They're going to be in there playing Germany in Group E, Ivory Coast, who's pretty legendary African side, and then Ecuador, who's always pretty decent. It's just so cool to see all these teams. Cape Verde, like they're super small country. They're going to play Spain and Uruguay. Like I just love that everybody can come together regardless of like religion, politics, whatever, social class, and they can just be like USA, USA, and just come together and cheer for the lads. So, but women, yeah, I love watching women's soccer, and I went to the Women's World Cup like we talked about before, and that was fun. I'll have to post the video of me walking with the American Outlaws. I found that video after we talked about it the other day because it is cutthroat, and especially we were playing the host. Speaking of the host, we were playing France, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. I'm so glad that I went to that with my wife and we had that experience, and I hope that everybody experiences that or an Olympics where they can really just come together. Yeah, I would love to go to an Olympics. I think, but there's just a lot of sports I don't understand. Like Winter Olympics, I feel like I would be like Shaun White, like, okay, cool, we're gonna do some cool snowboarding. But then when it got to like the cross country skiers where they just don't go that fast, and then they somehow have to shoot a rifle, and I'm like, whoa, guys, what are we doing? I'm not saying it's not cool, but also like, who invented this?
We plan on they already got the Olympic signs up here in Oklahoma City for softball and then the waterway
Yeah,
deal. So like, hopefully we're still here and I'm gonna go to that. That'll be fun. But like
yeah.
right now the College World Series is going on. We passed it today. That place is just crazy.
Oh, it's
Parking out.
popping off.
Yeah, it's popping.
And big kudos to the city of Oklahoma City. They made a recent investment where they're going to build a new indoor facility there. Hopefully, be done by the Olympics. I think that's the plan because it's just a metal building, and finishing out is really all the time for that and the facade. But that's going to be big for that facility. It's going to be crazy for the Olympics because I'm so excited to see the Americans potentially win the gold in Oklahoma City. Like, whoever thought we'd have the Olympics in Oklahoma City, even if it's an abbreviated two sports? No one in their right mind. But now we've got it. And shout out Mayor Holt and the crew there in Oklahoma City behind that committee to connect with LA, because I'm pretty sure what happened, what they discovered was like the softball facilities at UCLA and USC weren't great.
Yeah, that
And
nowhere else can hold the number in which Devon Park can. And I was just talking to Hannah with that today. Like, it's honestly shocking in today's world with the stadiums we see and how fast they go up that it's not more places. And Oklahoma City is the only one that can hold that body count.
yeah. And then not only that, but our friends down the road, not too far from you, was it in Shawnee? Wherever there's a large casino where they have the softball complex already. Well, I'm pretty sure they play state at almost.
Yeah,
Off the,
Sunday. Mhm.
Yeah, Shawnee, and they're expanding that park, and they're gonna have turf fields, and they're gonna have an arena or a stadium that has like 40 seats, 4,500, I believe. That's massive for high school and college softball because we are stacked at all levels of softball in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I'm excited to see that expansion, and Oklahoma and the Olympics coming up in 2028 is going to be huge. Also, next year, we will see the AWFL add a team in Los Angeles, they announced, as well as, so that'll be good for our friends up in Tacoma with the Grit. They get a Western team and they also get Memphis. I followed them on social the other day. They're kind of building their platform and trying to get some girls out. So, and then like we said, the second team in Hattiesburg, and maybe the Gulf Coast Mystery moves. But I'm sure we'll see some more franchises pop up for the AWFL as we go into the final week. Everything's on the line for everybody, but especially for us. If we get a dub, that secures.
Hey,
Guess who's back? Webb is back.
I came back on. Something about like when I plug the laptop into the charger, it shuts down. That's twice it's done it. So it might be that. I don't know why it would do it
too
that
much
way.
juice.
Huh?
Pulling too much juice. Can't
Yeah,
multitask.
but then
We gonna get you right one of these days. When I
you know
win,
what? I'm gonna get a new one. So
when I win the lottery, you won't be able to tell, but there'll be some signs, and it's gonna be Webb with a 5K camera for podcasting.
Yes. We just got to
And
win
when
the
I
lottery
do,
to make it happen.
when I do win the lottery, we're gonna have our own bunker of 100 gigabyte speed right below our feet.
Well, I'm down. Just got to make sure the air filter works because I'm sure if we get some DoorDash down there, it'll be Fart City, and we don't want to be in the bunker eating wings.
Or a nice little window to get some sunlight in there. So
Yeah. It'll be a high school football coach's office real quick down there smelling. So there's nothing like walking in a locker room and just being like, oh, Lee, I've been outside. It's been smelling great. And now I feel like I've caught COVID-99. So not even out yet, but that disease will happen. It'll manifest there in a football locker room.
Football locker room, you'll see the lead paint peeling off the walls, and you just know a couple years down the road we'll be diagnosed.
Or yeah, you'll hear a commercial late at night when you're up watching the late news because you can't sleep. And so you'll hear like, were you affected by lead paint at your workplace? Call this number now. Edward Jones and Associates will help you with your class action lawsuit. Join today. So yeah, you know.
Mesothelioma.
Were you at Fort Meade between the years of 1998 and 2010? You got a rare cancer.
Entitled to your compensation.
Yeah. We're only going to take 95%. So
1-800-ENTITLED.
Talking about elderly abuse, those folks getting people to call their hotline. I gotta tell my Grammy, man, I only got one grandparent left, and it's like, I gotta tell her, hey, whoa, what we're doing. Because when her husband was alive, my papa, like he would order stuff, like back when you could order CDs and order a whole set, like he would just call that number every time he saw it, whatever it was. And the next thing you know, it'd be at their house. And I'd be like, whoa, what are we doing around here, guys? We gotta stop ordering so much stuff. And this is before Amazon and like modern conveniences, or they would order out of a catalog and finance shoes. I forgot, what was it, Finger Hut? I think my dad's mom used to order from. Yeah, they would. They'd be like, I got you a new pair of shoes, son. It was only $20 a month or whatever. And I was like, you didn't have to do that. So, yeah.
Could just waited.
I think I ended up in the off season. I think we've talked about this before, but I would help the women's basketball program at Independence Community College during my time there. And I would play on the practice squad, and I'd be in Finger Hut shoes because I was real poor then. And so they weren't even athletic shoes. I was just out there trying to play out. Coach DeSalm was the head coach then at ICC. And he'd be like, what shoes are you wearing, Tuck? And I'm like, I don't know, Finger Hut, man. I don't know. My nanny got them for me. So They ain't J's, but that's okay. Yeah. Talk about figuring out you can't shoot is going to JUCO women's basketball practices and being like, yeah, I can't shoot that well. The girls are just draining it. And I thought, it'll be a smaller ball. I'm going to be set. No, I wasn't. So
backboard.
Yeah. And then Tommy just screaming bloody murder.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Hey, you're not here to shoot. You're here to move. Make a move. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, I took coaching 101 with him as an elective.
Hey, those JUCO classes be like the most blow off, most interesting classes ever.
I took Civil War.
I've taken similar one like that. I've taken fly fishing. It was like stretching science and some other stuff. It was interesting.
Yeah, I don't miss those classes. I barely showed up.
You're going to show up to the class. There's going to be a sign-in sheet to the door because he didn't want to come that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have a guy, Mr. Shaw, up there at ICC. He lived over in maybe Fredonia, not too far away, but he didn't want to come in. The weather, it'd just be raining, not even cold. He'd just have a little sheet out there. Just sign in for Bob Shaw. So I had one class, a salesmanship class, had 3 people. And I was just like, what are we doing? So as we wrap up, Webb, you were blocked by the NSA once again, but I believe you said Spurs in 6 over the Knicks.
Yeah, I said Spurs in 6. I think Wemby's going to be exhausted, so they might stretch that series out a little. Who's going to guard Cat?
Hey, whoa, Cat's been balling out.
Who's going to guard Cat? We already know Cat don't like to play defense. That's not a thing.
He doesn't like to play defense. I will say that as a Knicks fan. Like I said, the Spurs are going to struggle in the Garden. Unless Wemby just channels, the ultimate villain, because there's always a person on the opposing team. Even the Atlanta Hawks with, CJ McCollum, who's at the twilight of his career, he channeled like the super Reggie Miller villain and just slashed us. So,
well, CJ McCollum, he can still play. He's a shooter. He's really like a kind of all around, but he can get hot at any point in time.
No, I agree with that. Also, what is your World Cup prediction? What country do you have winning the World Cup, which starts June 11th?
Can't not say us, right?
USA. Look at that. I believe that we will win. Let's go. In real news, I probably believe my grandma's home country of Germany will probably win. So I think USA, I want them to win. I want them to make a semifinal run because they've never done it. But if they won the cup, like, can you imagine the trophy, like traveling the whole country and you get to go see it? Like, that'd be so cool. And then having a parade in New York City. They play all their games on the West Coast. Like all the group games, the first 3 games of the tournament are all on the West Coast. I think LA twice and Seattle one. So they've travel wise, they can set up camp. They're locked in out there. So they've got a pretty good gig set up as a host. We don't want to see Mexico. If we had to play Mexico, we wouldn't want to catch them in the knockout round. Canada hates us right now. And it's not just because of the 51st state comment from POTUS. It's their coach wanted to be the head coach of the U.S. He played for the United States, Jesse Marsh, and he's been throwing shade for a while. And he's got Canada playing really good. So you never know what'll happen up there. But I don't think you want to catch Canada or Mexico. There's just too much rivalry and history between between those countries. So, but I think Germany lifts the cup. So Brazil makes it deep, but Germany has always got the most sound team, in my opinion. So
I got to do some more research.
Okay,
We circle back to this on the next one.
Circle back, Webb pending. Now we're all Americans here, so we picked the USA, but then our second pick outside of our country, I got Germany, and we'll allow the boys some more research time. Do you think there's going to be additional AWFL franchises? Webb, we talked about the Lady Bison there in Hattiesburg and the potential relocation of the Gulf Coast Mystery, but LA got a team, Memphis got a team. Where do you think would help fill in the gaps for both the Southwest and the Northeast conferences in the AWFL?
I think we got to get one in New Mexico. I mean, you got to kind of fill this. You got to fill this West Side a little bit.
Yeah, San Diego.
I would love San Diego.
I mean, you really can't go wrong once we start naming places out west.
One-way flight there now.
Yeah, that's true. Go to
There's teams like you could get that resurgence of the Bonitas.
Mm-hmm.
Cloudcroft coming back alive.
Cloudcroft, they come
Ohio
to
Stadium.
That would be good for them probably, and get a team out of Colorado. Get
Thundercats. Bring them back over.
Get a Utah team of some sort, maybe.
Yeah, I'm with you geographically. We got to fill in that bottom quadrant.
I just don't know. I don't know how much.
Hey, there's a team out of Arizona actually that I saw was coming.
So there we go.
Team name, but I saw calculated and shared out of Arizona.
Yeah.
And to be honest, then we probably get split off. If we start getting a lot of teams out west, we probably get hooked up with them, right? If they divided up the conference a little bit differently into different divisions.
Yeah, it might end up getting, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it might be quadrant based and not just necessarily
playing more of the Texas teams again, like the Prime and Houston. And
yeah, I mean, that might be where the split happens, just from there west.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, that's some natural rivalries for us, those are some good games. And then we get ahead west, and I mean, those are some good trips. And like Schrep said, those are some easy flights once you start going west, go to San Diego, go to LA. So
I tell you, driving out west sucks because when we went out to Cloudcroft in Mexico 2 years ago, that was miserable. Like,
oh yeah, it's a terrible drive.
14 and a half. And I'm like, you thought it'd be decent, but like it was miserable all the way. Open range, you better cross and you go straight up, through the valleys, through the hills. Yeah. Like it was miserable. Not to even explain the experiences that we've had. That was worse than what we've experienced in Mississippi. It was not fun. And then we shot
those were interesting.
We shot over to the top of Cloudcroft National Forest where the town was, where we played. Like the elevation change from like our hotel was straight up, and it was awful.
Yeah,
like we had oxygen in the cans. We're just trying to make it.
I tell you, that is a hell of a home field advantage.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like middle of July and we get up to that elevation. It was 72 degrees, perfect, like sitting on top of the mountain.
Just surrounded. It's beautiful. It's a perfect place to play football.
Yeah. I still got those pictures.
But it is an advantage if you do not play in elevation.
Yeah. No, and I think it'd be pretty easy for us to get something going in Salt Lake City for the league because there's so many colleges there and sports that, even if like we talked about the ladies out there hadn't played tackle football before, you can tap into so many different, there's like 4 Division I universities, 3 or 4 in the Salt Lake area. you could tap
Actually,
into.
it's a part of the high schools. It's a part of the elementaries. Women's football is actually established there more than anywhere else because we met the Salt Lake, Salt Lake City Wildcat, the ones that just won it all last year for Division Two, and they were like, "We've been playing our whole lives. Like we just basically transitioned to this. This is like an all-star team for us." And
Wow.
you can tell they've been around football with their knowledge and the way they played, their schematics, everything they've done. So it's
Yeah,
pretty.
they're running back. Yeah, you remember like years ago where they had that little girl like in the Super Bowl commercial run the
Mhm.
ball. Like that was their running back.
Yeah. Yeah, she got after it.
But, I mean, the growth for the league to tap into that, like you boys are saying, would be huge for Salt Lake City. Also, an easy flight from Tulsa, not too far. Yeah, I think you start filling in out west and then kinda shoring up parts of the South, like Memphis, I think, is big to get into the Memphis market, tapping in.
So that one's coming, right? That one's
Yeah,
in.
Arkansas would be an interesting one.
Arkansas, right?
That's surprising that there's not one,
Yeah.
honestly. But
Northwest Arkansas is, blowing up population-wise and growth, or even going Little Rock. You have a natural rivalry with Memphis. So I think the league is definitely still in growth mode, like we talked about with Commissioner Rod, who we hope to see Saturday, June 6th, as we take on the Lady Primate for the regular season finale for the Rage. So much on the line that day, and hopefully the commissioner will be there. So he said that was still the plan when I talked to him today. So we shall see over there at T-Mobile Stadium. What are the plans as you go into that final regular season matchup with the Lady Prime?
we try and keep it basically business as usual. Again, it's a little different for us right now. Again, this bye week is actually a great thing. It's terrible because we don't get to play football, but with the moving and everything else, we're getting back into it. Basically worked out for a week and, tried to get our bodies recovered. Now so we're ramping back up, getting back in, getting contact, hitting, going through our normal routine yesterday and today, and then we'll get back after Saturday. Should be smooth and back at it. Excited. But I mean, we're not gonna attack it any differently. We want to win every game, and that's just what we prepared to do. But we'll see the implications that are on the line for that game.
Yeah. A first round bye would be massive. Because then that sets up what? We just have to win 2 games to get to the Emerald Bowl,
Yeah,
and they'd both be at T-Mobile Stadium.
yeah.
So, the
It's
Southwest
fun.
Conference.
Like with the money and the funds having those extra home games, like it'll be big to be able to build that fund to go to San Antonio with no problem.
Yeah. And that's a good point. If you make sure you want to come out on June 6th against the Lady Prime, $10 tickets, 10 and under are free, as well as go over to OklahomaRageFB.com, go to the merchandise, go to the team store, pick out some stuff. You can pick it out in person too, buy some swag there. As well as, if you want to do some sponsorships with our players, if you're vintage stock out there, I'm telling you, we got your person. And all pro quarterback Court Eldridge, who loves vintage stock in her PlayStation 3, which we found out in her special edition episode you can catch on Facebook and on YouTube if you want to catch that out and kind of learn about her reason why playing tackle football. And speaking of which, she doesn't do it for the trophies. She does it for the homies. So,
Homies.
my homies, shout out homies. I had such a good time. Court was a blast. We kind of heard all of her story and it was crazy. And she served our country as well. So, veteran. And now she's been playing football for 6 years. And it's crazy. Then we talked to Lacey Wilmer, our kicker, as well as playing some wide receiver, DB, part-time medic, part-time water girl, part-time cheerleader based off her explanation of the roles. She's an all-around utility player for the Rage. But yeah, kind of hearing her journey from soccer to football. She was just looking for some pickup soccer and found her way to the Rage family.
She's your favorite kicker's favorite kicker.
Yeah. Kickers are people too. So I appreciate her wearing that shirt. So you can catch her full episode, just like Court. You can catch her on Facebook and on YouTube. So with that being said, we hope to see everybody out because if we get this dub, that would guarantee that the Southwest Conference would go through the Rage. Everybody would be having to make that trip to T-Mobile Stadium in Inola. And, hey, I'm telling you, that trip to San Antonio, Lacey said she's already got it booked. We've got to make our way down there and go from runner-up last year in the WFA Division II to national champs, hoisting that Emerald Bowl. If there's not confetti, I will go to a local part of USA and buy some confetti guns. And we might be asked by the stadium host to pick it up after the game. So if you see me with the rake after I've celebrated with the boys and the ladies on the rage, I'm just cleaning it up.
Get the confetti at the store and then go get the rake from Home Depot. You'd be prepared to go either way. TTG.
Yeah. So final question, what's making you rage out this week, Schrep?
Let's just say moving into the house and the AC, I've explained this to y'all, like the AC is not keeping up. It's not even hot outside yet. And this can kind of pair with, you're getting old when you check your thermostat 24/7. So when it's sitting at 77 degrees and it's on 72 and it runs all day, you just know the electric bill is going to be high and you're not ready for that. But yesterday we had a guy from the maintenance crew come. We didn't have filters in there. He put a filter in. And then today they said that they're going to look at it / work on it. And we called and we're like, we're going to be gone. We're like, okay, they'll be there tomorrow. And as soon as we leave, the doorbell goes off. They're here to try to look at it. So not having a fun time with the HVAC unit. It's making me rage out this week.
Yeah, that's an uphill battle for sure. Webb, what about you?
Well, I think the obvious is the whole internet thing that I have going on right now. I don't know what's going on with it.
Hey, Lacey was swearing by Starlink, man. You might need to talk to Lacey.
Can't figure it out. I mean, obviously I'm on the same internet and it's working now. But so I don't, I'm just gonna set up when we get that underground bunker and I can just hook in, it'll still mess up somehow. I don't know how it's gonna mess up, but I promise it'll still mess up.
It will.
Oh yeah.
But I will tell you, it's just, I don't know if it's making me rage out, but I'm wondering how. So I was at Dutch Bros, by the way. What's it called? The energy drink?
Tiger's Blood.
It's Tiger's Blood, Rebel sugar-free Tiger's Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Shout out Miss Candace.
Shout out Candace, yeah. She's a MVP on that end, and Maya loves her, so great. But so then that drive-through, and there's a car wash next to it. And so it drive-through like 5 cars deep. So I saw the sign and it said, spend $5 or more with your receipt, get $5 off the car wash next door. So I'm like, who's paying for that extra money? Like, where's the money coming from? Like, does it come out of Dutch Bros or does it come out of the car wash?
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's just a really good deal for Dutch Bros. So because you're sitting in the drive-through for 10 minutes, so I'm just like, how does this money work this out for me? Is it just they just agreed like, hey, can we put a sign here that to get the discount for the car wash? And it's Dutch Bros like, yeah, but you owe us $2 per car wash.
So they're probably meeting in the middle, right? Or I would think Dutch Bros would be like 80-20 on that deal.
Because they're already there to buy Dutch Bros, so it's not like it matters for Dutch Bros.
Unless they're double dipping, as the same dude that is the franchise owner of Dutch Bros is dipping, has the car wash. So, I mean, here's my thing, and I would love to have more time. It's in my book of ideas here, is the growth of drinks stops or stations, stores, whatever. Dutch Bros, we talked about. 7 Brew. What's the other one? It's the red logo. Scooters. I heard something else that reminded me of Dick Vitale commercial. Shout out Dickie V. That guy is man.
Awesome,
he's a
baby.
It's awesome, baby. I hate all the cancer that's happened to him later in his life. He
that
never
beat it like 5 times. I'm like, Jesus.
It's a diaper dandy, baby, here at the Dookies, taking on the Tar Heels. Will Roy Williams be able to defeat Coach K? My dad hated Dickie V. He's like, I'm just here to watch the game. And he's like, Dickie V, it's like a Wednesday night matchup, like old ACC, like Maryland, like Clemson, and they're
just
taking basketball. Yeah. Yeah, we're
be awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Hey, it's Wednesday here in Clemson, South Carolina, and both teams are 5-25 at the end of the regular season. But whoa! So
major off-season implications.
Wasn't it EA basketball games before they canceled?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, thank you. They were like, Mr. Vitale, sir, you're just gonna have to lower your voice a little bit because it's gonna ruin the audio files for the game. And he's like, I've only got one level, baby. That's how I talk to my wife. So, well, yeah, they're double dipping on that. There's somehow someone's winning. Just like a specific barbecue place, you can do a Google search, State Parks barbecue in Oklahoma. So do your search there. Schrep just got it all put together after I did a little mention before last couple days ago. So do that on your own. I will say what's making me rage out is we hosted my youngest daughter's second birthday, right? So blow up water slide, filled up 200 water balloons, went picked up some rental chairs at the rental store there on the way to Dewey. At Ettinger's, fought off some spiders, potentially black widows. But I took a lot of pointed like comments. I feel like people who attended, saying like, "Well, what are you doing, right?" Oh, I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you're at my crib."
Yeah. You gonna disrespect me in my house?
In my house, I'm on the grill. I'm making your food. My wife's put everything together, and you're coming at us right now. So I was like, okay, look, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be authentic and do my thing, and I'm gonna do stuff that makes me happy and I feel like makes impact on other people. And you do you, because I have to answer to me and my family. That's who I answer to. I ain't answering to you. So if you're gonna come to my crib, just keep it chill. Have a good time. Go down the water slide. So
Balloon. Now the question is, did you get the new contraptions that fill up like 20 at a time, or did you hand fill each one?
20 at a time, but still disconnecting because then you have to cut the water off, take it off, put another one on. And then my kids are like, Daddy, do mine next, do mine next. They're both fighting, and now my youngest, she'll hit. So now she's kicking and hitting her older sister. And I'm sitting there just like, hey, whoa, 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 let's just chill out. We're going to get all these water balloons. Then my wife comes out and she's like, you've filled up way too many. But I think the lesson for everybody out in Rage Nation is chase your dreams, right? You only get one life, right? You want to play women's tackle football? We love you for it. We're glad you're here. You want to take it to the next level and make the AWFL the leading women's football league in America? Let's go. Let's, lock in with Commissioner Rod. Or you want to be a musician from Coweta and start getting hundreds of thousands, millions of likes on TikTok and blow up? We're all for it. Chase your dream or you're going to be living someone else's. So, I mean, we all make sacrifices, and not just us three on the show. Like we all do it. And have somebody you can talk to. That's most important. Have somebody you can bounce ideas off. Because I tell you, if I just went off all my ideas in a book without bouncing them off somebody, I'd end up in some weird stuff. Like show me your receipt for $5 off your car wash, which makes zero sense. And I'm already raging out for Webb, and I didn't even witness this because that's not how it's supposed to be. Just get a membership. Yeah, chase your dreams. I feel like there's a Cody Johnson song that is "Chase Your Dreams," right? I'm putting out there for country music fans.
You got to chase it.
Yeah, chase it while you still can. And then also a lesson to me that not everybody's going to get my dad jokes. I'm getting old. I'll be 40 before too long. I'll be 38 this year. So I just got to try to find some people that understand my jokes about Kmart, Blue Light Special, Little Caesars when they had the big pizza. So, and Mick pizzas. So I've got the boys here that understand. Schrep does his research. So, Webb and I appreciate that as older folk. So he helps us not get blank stares. And that's why we love him, right? Schrep's a reliable guy. He's going to be there. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. So for Schrep and for Webb, we will see you for the end of the regular season there at 7 p.m. at T-Mobile Stadium on Saturday, June 6th, as we take on the Dallas Lady Prime. I will be in attendance live, and I will ask them what their mascot is and hopefully not upset them too much. So I want to be a part of why we win and not a part of why we don't, because I just fueled their anger before the game by asking about their mascot or lack of, though. So for the boys, we'll catch you next time.